Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Jumi here, Beyond Braids. I'm excited to be back again. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I hope you like what you see. Please do me good and subscribe to my channel. If you are not new, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about because I'm guilty of it as well, so I really want to tread carefully and also be sensitive as well. It's about parenting, and I know there is no one way to parent, right? I am a mom of 3, but I want to talk about traditional parenting and gentle parenting, because now one thing that I really appreciate about this time is we are in between 2 generations. We see our parents, you know, the results of how they raised us. We see those that are in between them, kids that are teenagers now, that are young adults now, and see we can, you know, there's so many comparisons now. You don't want to just, you know, keep doing the same thing over and over and be expecting different results. And when we're talking about traditional parenting, there are so many things that I disagree about when it comes to traditional parenting, because for me, I think it's just I'm really biting my tongues. And let's see, what I disagree about parenting, about traditional parenting, is when it comes to beating children, eating children. I do not totally disagree, because there is beating, stop doing this, and there's why? So that's why I'm guilty as well. And I hope parents understand that your response to whatever your kid does, it's not about the kids anymore. If the punishment does not fit the offense, that is trauma response from the parent. Imagine if I told my 7-year-old, stop doing this, stop doing this, and let's say I have, and then you tell them something 1 million times, they will still do it. Now let's say I'm frustrated, like, I've been telling you not to do this. Then my response now is to now beat him down. That has nothing to do with what the kids does. That has everything to do with the way I respond. Why is it that beating him down is my response to what he has done? And also, I think that as traditional parenting, we don't usually have time to sit them down and talk. Like, if I'm asking you not to do this, this is why. If I'm asking you not to do this, this is why. We just expect them to automatically know that don't do this, this is why. We know more than them. That's why we know. That's why we're telling them not to do what they are doing. But in the real sense, we don't take time to explain to them why what they are doing is not right. If we actually take time to explain to them, I think that is where the gentle parenting will come in. And sometimes these kids can put their feet on your throat and really want to get the bad side of you, but that will now depend on the parents, either the mom or the dad. How you respond is based on how much of knowledge you know about parenting, your intentionality about parenting. Did you really want these children to grow up and know so much about their behavior, to be self-aware, and that also help the children to know the kind of parents they will become in future, to know the kind of leadership they will, especially if it is a boy, right? My first 2 children are boys, then I have a little girl. So in gentle parenting, I think that is, in my own opinion, alright, everybody have their own opinion, it might be too laid back, because the world is not fair. For me, I believe they need a little bit of toughness, especially now that we are in abroad. They cannot get that toughness anywhere except from their parents. When they go to school, the teacher cannot give them any toughness. They would rather just tell them, go and face the wall. You need inner strength, kind of. And for me, there's nowhere to get that inner strength except from how you handle your kids at home, especially that there's not so much that can be done in school. Okay, they go to church, you expect the church to. One of my very good sister was posting on her story one day, and she was talking about how your kids cannot learn everything in church in 2 hours. They only go to church for 2 hours. And my kids sometimes will even tell me, oh, they enjoy going to school than church. Hey, African parenting, they mean like, what do you mean? How? I'm like, what do you mean, right? Just to understand where they are coming from. And then he said, because we don't have much time to play. I'm like, okay, you don't even go to church to play. And even in school, thank God for abroad school, in African school, you have like 30 minutes break in between, and that's it. You don't play that much. But here they have so many activities that sometimes I'm even tired of asking them what they do at school, because, and they're like, so what does this mean? But I being an African might not be able to see how that will help them in every aspect of their lives, but it's inside the curriculum. They know it will help them. Okay, so it was explaining to me like, they have so much time in school, but when they go to church, they do not allow them to play very well. This is me now trying to, you know, play gentle parenting. I'm like, okay, yeah, it is because you spend 8 hours. You might not know how many hours you spend. Let me tell you, 8 hours in school, and you spend 2 hours at church. That's why you don't have enough time. You know, in the space of 8 hours, you're able to do so many activities. But in church, sometimes you even get to church late. That 2 hours is minus already. So what did you expect to do in 2 hours? To learn to play So now, if I want to respond in traditional parenting, what do you mean? You don't like church? Oh, Jesus. Jesus. I don't want to start saying Yoruba because of some of my audience might not be Yoruba. That I want to start, you know. But if you're able to be, if you have that time, I think one thing that will make the difference between the traditional parenting and gentle parenting is having the time to hear these children out. We are talking from the abundance of knowledge that we already have to know that this is not good. These are children. They are responding as they are supposed to. How old are they? They don't know so much as we have. So if we just have time to explain, this is why this is, and when the explanation is now dragging too much, then you know what to do. Or even after you're not explaining to them, you see that the kids is helping by letting you know that, oh, okay, okay, and then it becomes interactive. That way I would say gentle parenting is fine, but the level of gentle parenting that I'm seeing online, I don't know, that one I cannot call it gentle parenting. I will call that permissive parenting, absent parenting, I don't care parenting, it is none of my business parenting. You can turn out however you want parenting, because what the heck? Your kids is just throwing tantrum and they are throwing everything. You're like, oh yeah, let them be. If you have to, like, no, if you are stressed out and you want to let out your stress, breathe in, breathe out. They even help me now. I also like, and I'll try it, and it actually worked. And breathe in and then breathe out. I didn't even do that breathing in very well. I didn't grow up doing that. At Dagbakola, it is Solomon, so that is one proverb in my country. So if your kids is having a difficult time, you should be able to talk about it. They should not turn into destructive. Some people will call them small demon or something like that. And then they are throwing. No, I can no. My traditional parenting will call me, but I think I'm in between. There has to be balance. I cannot be an extreme traditional parenting, an extreme gentle parenting. No. There has to be balance. There has to be balance. When they are behaving in a way that you know this is not acceptable, either you want to cry, that's fine. Go to your room, lock the door and cry. When you're done crying, wipe your face, come and take some snacks, since you want to cry it out, you want to let your emotion out, I don't have problem with that. But because you want to let out your emotion and then you are scattering the whole house, no, I will beat you up. I did not say that. I take that back. I take that. But I mean, that for me is not acceptable. And also because our parents, looking back now in the kind of traditional parenting that I received, like my mom being, my parents being the traditional parenting, looking back, I think if they spend more time explaining what it means to us, we are not dumb. We are little, but of course there's some little thing that we can still understand, or they can bring it down to our level and explain in a way that we will understand. And when they're explaining that, we'll be able to, you know, grab it and be like, oh, okay, this is, but they don't have time. I think they believe that to just beat you is easier for them than to now take time to sit down and start explaining that, oh, this is this. Because for me, what I am practicing with my children, I would not want to call it 100% gentle parenting. I don't know. I'm not team 100% gentle parenting. I'm team what is required at the moment. But just know that I have your best interest at heart. I don't want you to grow up and be suffering things that I will put you through. I will not put you through any stress. I will not just beat you up, because even you as a parent, have you seen your response to whatever your kid does, and you are looking at yourself that Jesus, but it shouldn't go this length. I've had few moments like that, and the fact that you have that moment shows that you I don't know what word to use. That gives you room to now start working on it and become better. If my kids does anything wrong now, my response shouldn't be to quickly beat them up. My response shouldn't be to, you know, it is after I have, in fact, even Jesus in heaven will be my my witness that I've been telling you this for such a long time, but you just don't want to listen. And then there's so many different discipline now that I can use, either to tell you to lay down and then, you know, that kind of thing, or kneel down, raise up your hand, close your eyes, or tell you to not play with your siblings and your brothers and go to your room by yourself. Yes, so you just cannot be, there is no 100% freedom. People will be saying, oh, there's freedom of speech. You know, they will tell you that what comes after that speech is not, that freedom is not guaranteed. So I believe that children need to know that they don't have liberty to do all things, like not in a way of their capacity or what they can achieve, but when it comes to their morals, their behaviors, you know, there has to be limits, there have to be measures. There's things you cannot do, but we have to take time to explain to them. It takes me time to get here, especially that I have two boys, and my first boy is very laid back, calm, gentle, but he has some little thing that frustrates me sometimes, and I'm working on myself to not respond harshly and all of that. It's not something that, you know, you can do overnight. I have where I can improve. My second boy, yes, you are looking at me, I'm looking at you. That boy, I am free. Let him be calm. He's not a very calm boy, and he is very more, in fact, he's more expressive, right? But he just like to stress me. But I am really, you know, looking into my gentle parenting more to really balance it. And one thing that I've also seen in him is being the kind of attributes that he has, that very strong personality, is going to be useful for him in future, right? So I don't want to talk him out of it or drag him out of it. I just want to be able to balance it now, so he can maintain some level of it, so that it can be useful for him when he grows up. And I also look on Google to see what other punishments can be used for children, except from, well, apart from beating. And then I found these are the 10 recommendations for creative punishment that you can use with your kids. Number 1, timing instead of timeout. Number 2, take the pet out for a walk. We don't have pets. My kids have been asking for pets. That's like having another kid. You are my pet. 3 of you are my pets. Having another pet is like, no. Until you grow up to the point that you can take care of it, then I don't have a problem with that. But for now, having pets now, no, we don't have pets. Increase bedtime. That is, if you tell them, if you keep doing this, it will be like a deal, a bargain. Maybe you can put it in writing as well. If you keep doing this, this is your punishment. When I tell you not to do this, you do this, this is your punishment. That way, they understand what they've done, and they understand the offense. Not like, you know, sometimes when our parents beat us, you are wondering, what did I do? What did I do? And they can't even have done it. This punishment is too. They will beat the heck out of you. And then the next one is make them serve dinner. For African in me does not see this as punishment, right? It is just a normal activities of the house, like, hey, go and take your food. How is that a punishment? But I mean, they listed it here that it is part of punishment. So, or whatever you see that they don't like doing. Some kids don't like doing dishes, right? So it might be their punishment. Some kids don't like whatever they don't like, let that be their punishment. So that I think that will also work. Power of practice, maybe to introduce them to something in a bit of punishing them. I don't know how that works. It makes them to now learn a new thing, or do they actually learn from what they have done? They will see it as exploring stuff. I don't know about this. Hold that tongue. I do that to my daughter very much, my 3-year-old daughter. I don't even touch her. I'll just tell her, can you stop doing this? And then she started crying already. That girl. I'm like, hold it. She'll be crying and she'll still be, and she'll hold it right there. Chore in return. Chore is the normal thing to do. No, I'm not going to do this. Chore is the normal thing to do. What I usually do for them is either I'll tell them, go and kneel down, raise up your hand and close your eyes, go to your room, close everything. And sometimes if we're asked to do with just one abara, you know, the one that will not be so crazy that they will now that will cause trouble. This video is so long already. I have another part that is going to be second part that I'm going to do. It's still has to do with parenting, so I'm going to stop this one here because it's almost 20 minutes and I don't want it to be too long, so I'll continue that one in the other part. Thank you so much for staying with me to this time. If you have any suggestion, what you think, your opinion, your perspective, please drop it in the comment section, and I'm going to see you in the second part, which is going to be my next video. Bye, stay safe, peace out.